Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Almighty Allah, the entirely merciful Ar-Rahman and especially merciful Ar-Rahim. Dear viewers across the globe, I greet you with the greeting of peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May peace be unto all of you. Ameen, ameen. I am sure that you are ready to get maximum benefit from what you are going to learn from the Holy Quran. Remember that our substance is from the Quran. We have nothing to do except what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught us in the Quran and in the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because we explained it many times that it is revelation from Allah. This revelation carries the exact words of Allah, the Quran, and the other revelation is the Sunnah, the tradition of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's the revelation from Almighty Allah and the words from our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And remember the verse, وَمَا يَنطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ. When Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam speaks out, he never says anything or does anything out of his own desires and thinking. Rather, anything that he says or does comes out from revelation to him from Almighty Allah. So they are both revelations, the Quran and the Sunnah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the opportunity to ask. And if we cannot learn by ourselves, because we have limited knowledge, we still have the authority that would help us, which is the Ahlul Ilm, the people of authority, the people of expertise. We all the time consult with them. We all the time ask them and use what they say, and we apply them in our life. And this would give us better understanding than if we depend only on ourselves. Today we are focusing on chapter called Chapter An-Nahl, Surah An-Nahl, chapter of the bees. It talks mainly about bees, but it has other things. We're going to focus on ayah number 53. But to get better understanding, we may go a little bit before that and go a little bit after that. So although the focus is on ayah number 53, which reads, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وما بكم من نعمة فمن الله ثم إذا مسكم الضر فإليه تجأرون. Here it tells us, and whatever blessings you have and any good thing that you have, it is from Allah. Then, when harm touches you, to Him you cry aloud for help. You are not as patient as expected to be. Then after that, ثم إذا كشف الضر عنكم إذا فريق منكم بربهم يشركون. Then when He has removed the harm from you, behold, some of you associate others to worship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the nature of humans on the earth. Some of the humans are not aware of what's happening, and some of the humans give promises that we are going to do this and this if this happens to us. Then they forget. They don't fulfill what they promised Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They forget that they are dealing with Allah, which is a very grave issue, very, very dangerous issue. When you are dealing with Allah, you have to think differently. You are dealing with your Creator, the grantor of everything that you have. That's why the ayah itself begins with this. It tells us that everything that you have, every blessing that you have, not just in your body, just every blessing, the air that around you, the sun that gives you the rays, and the moon that gives you this benefit or the other benefit, and everything around you, everything is from Allah. Is there another God other than Allah, besides Allah? We already answered this in many other episodes, and we know that the answer is no. There's only one God. You know that, but you don't live this deeply. This is not penetrating your heart. You may be saying it superficially without reflecting upon it. And the proof is here, the second segment of the ayah, number 53. It says, then whenever harm comes to you, then you start crying loud to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for help. Oh Allah, help us. Oh Allah, help us. Oh Allah, help us. The good thing about this is that you trust that Allah can do this. And Allah can. So in other words, you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responds to you, accepts your supplication, and removes the harm from you, then some of you, this is a reference to the disbelievers or the unbelievers, some of you who have weak iman, they start associating someone else beside Allah. In other words, they go back to their old norms that they used to have, the belief that they had, and when they have under the suffering, it seems that they trust Allah. But when things go back to normal and Allah removes the harms and the problems and the calamities from them, they go back to their old traditions and norms. And they start practicing, worshipping someone else other than Allah, which is one of the worst things that's happening by humans. This is not general, but at least a group of people who inhabit this planet are doing this. In time of need, they resort to Allah. And in time when they are not in need, they don't resort to Allah. Even they start going back to their old kufr, and they start worshipping other than Allah. Doing bad things or doing the worst thing is they start saying, thank you, and they start naming their own gods. But when they are in trouble, they go and, to call upon Allah. Then, in normal things, their belief system is so corrupt that it needs to be fixed now. Because if you wait upon this kind of belief system, it will grow and grow and grow. It will increase in the wrong direction. So the sooner you do it, the better for you, because the problems are still at the early stages. They have not penetrated you fully. And that's why this shows us the importance of Tawheed, the science of Tawheed. When we deal with people, we have to check these issues. What are they worshipping? Are they worshipping only Allah? And do they understand the meaning of La ilaha illallah? Or they have superficial knowledge about Allah and they worship someone else in practice? And they call upon someone else in their normal life. But only they resort to Allah temporary when the calamities happen to them. This happens to many people on the earth, regardless of the particular areas. But this is the nature of those who don't know the meaning or the exact meaning or the real meaning of La ilaha illallah. There's no other God to be worshipped except Almighty Allah. They don't know the meaning of this. They think that they can worship Allah and someone else, which is a type of shirk. And we know, we have learned from the Quran, that if a person dies on this state of mind, state of thinking, that he worships Allah and someone else, this is a very false and wrong belief. And that's why from the very beginning when we say, La ilaha illallah, there is no other God, that means there is no way that there is another God that exists. That's why the Quran, in many verses scattered here and there across the Quran, that focuses on this. أَإِلَهٌ مَعَ اللَّهِ? Is there any God besides Allah? The response is, La ilaha illallah. There is no God except Allah. No one else exists. No, this whole entire universe, entire creation has only one creator, whose name is Allah. This truth has to be well established in the hearts of people when they are looking for the truth. And everybody is. Everybody is looking for the truth. We need to do some work to dig deeper and deeper in the hearts and in the minds of people, to show them where, as you go to a doctor and he makes examination and asks for some blood tests and asks for some x-rays and asks to get more accurate diagnosis. When we diagnose most of the people on the earth now, we would know that they have a kind of shirk, a kind of associating someone else with Allah in their belief system. When we examine their belief system of everyone, we would find that this kind of hidden, very subtle hidden forms of shirk in their minds and hearts. We need to deal with this because this, yes, it corrupts the whole system of belief. And Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was sent to us, was chosen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be the messenger who carries the final message which had been carried by previous messengers at the time. The difference is that this is the final version of it, and he is the one who is universal. He is, in other words, he addresses all human beings. No one on this planet can claim, they can claim, but they cannot affirm. They can claim that Muhammad is not sent for us. No, he was sent. There's another verse in the Quran that says, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. Hey Muhammad, we sent you only for this person, for this reason, for this purpose, to be as a mercy for alameen, for all kinds of creations. Everyone who is created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressed by this. Muhammad is his messenger. That's why we need, when we deal with people, we need to focus in these important issues. We should not delay them to tomorrow or to next week. We should deal with them as early as possible. And therefore, the more we focus on these grave issues, these dangerous issues, and we eradicate them from their minds,